Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the newest project going on in the shop. My 15-year-old son decided he wanted to build a project. He's been welding for a couple of years. He's a little rusty right now. He hasn't welded in probably about 6 months, but wanted to build a project. I told him, I said, why don't we build a smoker? I built one about 4 years ago for myself. Cooks really well. and I had everything for it. I had a bunch of big tanks, bunch of small tanks. It's a 120 gallon cook chamber, 80 gallon for a firebox. It's going to be a reverse flow. And so we literally, well, he's done 80% of it. Started it yesterday morning. Today's Friday. And started it yesterday morning, prepping the tanks, getting ready to cope the firebox to the cook chamber, and we got legs on it, got the firebox attached, built a framework for the front door for the firebox, just out of 1.5 inch angle iron, cut it, recessed it in, and he's not exactly happy with his welds. A lot of them came out really well. He's just kind of flowing in real heavy, and got the heat dialed in, and it's definitely strong, but he's real picky and he wants to clean them up a little bit with a grinding wheel and a flap disc. So he'll clean that up, but we've got the door laid out, if you can see, with the reflection from the light. But it's going to be a good little cooker. Probably put 2 shelves in it. It's going to be a reverse flow. And so we got this much knocked out between yesterday and today. He's got probably, I'd say, about 12 or 14 hours in it total. So we got to this point, and then we started making a few other small things for it. This will be the damper for the air intake on the firebox. Piece of 4-inch pipe. Just got a piece of plate in it, spring loaded, 3/8 round stock, bent it with the torch. Put a spring on it so it'll stay wherever you keep it. And then these 2 brackets here, we scribed them into the door for the cook chamber. And what we'll do is we'll weld those on first before we fully cut the door out. And what that'll do is it'll help keep some of the spring back out of the door. And so the door will close and seat a little, tighter than it if you just let it kind of spring back and open up. The 2 cups will be what hold the handle. And I've got a piece of 1.5 inch poplar right here that will get cut to fit and stained, put on. The remaining part that's left over from it, that's a 4-foot stick, but the 2 end pieces will get cut for a handle for the firebox. And then also on the top of the stack there will be a cover that's you can open and close from a 1/2 inch rod that'll come down. That'll also be spring loaded and have a handle on it so you can close the damper. So you can either adjust the airflow coming in or the damper up top to control what you want it to do. That's what I did on mine, and it works really well. This piece of 1.5 inch tube that's just tacked to the top of the tank, that is not the stack, for anyone wondering. We had it laying on the floor, and the only real way to leverage it to get it back up on its feet before the firebox was on was to just tack something to it and use it as a handle. So that'll be coming off, but we're going to try to get it wrapped up, get it really, really close by end of day tomorrow. I've got a bunch of other projects going on and builds. In fact, I've got this whole stack of tube here. This will be a video coming up. Just a set of 4x12 gates, double gates for a driveway. So this build is, he wanted to do it and I was all in. I love when he builds stuff. And it's great, but I just need to get it kind of wrapped up, and get it out of the shop to free up some room. It's just kind of, the shop is just maxed out right now. The 59 is still in, and I've got a pile of lumber over there. I've got to build a door for a garden shed. Just scored an English wheel from a local guy off a marketplace. So I've been kind of wanting one of those for a while, and I bought it for less than half of the going price from the store. So that was a nice thing to add to the shop. Fenders for the 59 came in, went to the blaster, got blasted. They're now in epoxy prime, sealed up. The safe is still going on. Safe got clear coated. Dial got all cleaned up. Got the mirror where the Lexan on the back of the door, and the mirror is in the back of it. So still need to get these red velvet panels in it, but that's going to be getting cleaned up and wrapped up hopefully in the next few days. And right now the shop is just stacked up with stuff. There's just material everywhere. Been digging through the rack. This piece of 1/4-inch diamond plate will get cut down, and that's going to become the door for the firebox. Look through the rack. I've got a ton of expended metals, so we've got enough to build the shelves or the cooking racks inside the cook chamber. We're also going to put a shelf down below, which is a nice little option. I did it on mine, and one thing I like to do is I can keep green firewood down below, and cooking with it enough will help dry the wood out, preheated if you will. So normally on a smoker, the cook chamber is like or the firebox, excuse me, is 1/3 of the size of the cook chamber. And a lot of people always ask, like, how big should I build a firebox? It's usually 1/3 of your cook chamber. This one here, we left it a little long. We cut down the end of the tank and just plated it with 3/16 plate, if you can see that. And just to close it up and square it up, make it easier to marry into the cook chamber. But we left it long for 2 reasons. And I've always said the same thing. You can build a small fire in a large firebox, but you can't build a large fire in a small firebox. So that's one of the reasons we left it long. And then second is we are going to, usually where all the valves are, I cut them out and then I weld in material and close the holes up and grind them off flat. This tank, this was the bottom of, or the top of the tank, and it was outside for a long time. Has all the pitting and everything, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plate the end of the tank. We're going to weld the holes up first, but we're going to plate the end of the tank with 1/8-inch material. And then this lower part here, we're going to build an actual flat plate griddle to go on the top of it. And just a nice option if you wanted to like grill some burgers or something like that, or hot dogs, or use it as a warming plate. A lot of guys will make sides in a smoker, like mac and cheese and stuff like that. You can keep something on it and keep it warm while you finish your cook. So it'll look nice. It'll kind of hide the sins of the end of that tank, and it'll be one more usable option on it. So we'll have the smoker, the griddle, the bottom shelf, nice wood handles that are going to be stained. Not going to do it the traditional black. We found high temp silver, so it's going to be silver instead, which makes it a little different. And I may possibly have it sold already. If the gentleman wants it, we're going to sell it as is. If he decides he wants to go a different way, then we are going to build a small trailer for this one and make it a mobile unit, and then it will just basically go out on Marketplace for sale. We'll keep it underneath pretty much what everybody else is selling them for. Do have a bunch of time in it Definitely going to have a bunch of different materials in it, and all that stuff adds up these days. All the nuts and bolts for the doors and stuff like that will all be stainless. And so you got to factor in all the materials alone, and then also, you know, you got a ton of time in these things. They take longer than you originally planned. It's his first build, and you know, it's not shop rate what he's charging. He's trying to put some money together to buy his first car. So like I said, he's 15 and building some larger projects and just learning as he goes, learning what to do, what not to do, making a couple dollars. As you can see, you know, like I said, I've got a ton of stuff going on in the shop, and he's you know, trying to learn how to use it all, do it all, which I love. So, but there'll definitely be a follow-up video to this, probably by beginning of the week. The game plan right now is to get it done by probably tomorrow night or Sunday morning, and then I'm going to load it up and bring it out to my guy. He's going to sandblast the entire thing for me inside and out. It'll come back, be ready for paint, and then we'll talk to the gentleman who's interested and see if it's a go, and if not, then we'll go a different way with it, put it on Marketplace. So right now we're going to do a little cleanup and some of the clutter and put away all the miscellaneous stuff that we no longer need out, and try to free up some room, get a little you know, tightened up for tomorrow, and go ahead and wrap this build up, and then probably, hopefully, I can start knocking down this material and production cut and everything, and start laying out for these gates and make some progress on one of my own builds. So stay tuned for the second video to come, and hope you guys like it. And shouldn't be too many more days before the new finished video comes out, and I may even take a small video of it. We're going to burn it out, get all the paint off of it before it goes to the blaster, so I may take a small video of that. But thanks for watching, and hope you like it. We'll see you second one coming up, couple of days.